So just letting your body start to relax into the ground. Feeling the pressure of the body against the floor. And just noticing the parts of your body that are touching the ground. You can have the knees bent or you can have the legs extended, whatever's going to be easiest on your low back. It's taking a few minutes to get used to your body being in the room and on the ground. And as the back body becomes heavy into the floor, feel the front side of the body soften. Drawing attention into the breath. Now when you inhale, feel the waistline, the chest and the belly expand about all at the same time. And then when you exhale, just open the mouth and let the breath pass over the lips, not putting too much emphasis in it. And then you'll seal the lips again. Take an inhale. And open mouth, sigh out the exhale. And as you do this, feel the mid-back relax down to the ground. This is a technique more used for releasing excessive tension from the body, both mental and physical. After your next exhale, you'll seal the lips. Breathing in and out of the nose for the rest of practice, unless you get a sudden urge to take a nice deep inhale, in which case I want you to open mouth exhale it. Now we're going to walk the legs over to the right, as far as we're comfortable walking them over, making sure that we're not compressing, we're not shifting the pelvis over to the right as well, and we're not pinching the sacrum. And then you'll cross the right ankle over the top of the left ankle. And then let's just raise the left arm up and overhead. And you're going to let that left arm relax on the ground, so I don't want you to hold any tension with it. And have the nose continue to point up towards the ceiling. And then let's bring the right hand to the left side of the rib cage. Beginning to deepen the breath and feel the way that the breath moves in and out of the body and what the movement of the rib cage is like. The breath pushing down through the rib cage and into the waistline is going to help open up that area on the left-hand side. And let's even add in a slight pause, maybe about 2-second pause after the inhale, holding the breath in, just giving the body a chance to feel the release that the inhale brings. Now the inhale does release the muscles in the torso, and the exhale re-engages the muscles in the abdomen. So there's a slight correction that I need to make there. The rib cage, when we inhale, the intercostal muscles engage to pull the rib cage open, and the abdominal muscles relax. And then when we exhale, we engage the abdomen, and the intercostal muscles release their engagement to compress the lungs and let the breath out. Go ahead and slide the right hand back to the belly. And the next time that you exhale, lower the left hand to the belly. Pause there. Uncross the ankles and walk the legs back to what feel like center. Don't be too concerned about if it is centered or not, because we are going to balance out. And take notice of how you feel from side to side. Now let's walk the legs over to the left. And once you've got the legs there, it's the left ankle that crosses over the right ankle to pin that right leg in place. Now think about getting that right hip heavier, so letting it drop down into the ground. Oftentimes we'll engage the glutes to push it further over. And then let's take the right arm up and overhead. Remember to keep that elbow bent. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be up and overhead, because really you're just looking to soften through the armpit and through the elbow joint. Bring the left hand to the right side of the rib cage. And again, feel the movement of the intercostal muscles and the breath underneath the hand. Noticing the sound of your own breath, its pace and movement, still connected to the heaviness of the body. And then releasing the left hand back to the belly. And on the exhale, lowering the right hand to the belly. Uncross the legs and walk them back to what feels like center. Pause there. Notice how it feels from right to left side. And then we'll continue on with some asymmetrical work, bending the knees and placing the feet flat to the floor. Bring the arms down alongside the body, palms face down into the ground. And the next time that you inhale, raise the right arm forward, up, and overhead, reaching towards the back of the room. Now listen carefully. On the exhale, you're going to engage the belly, lower the right arm back down as you bring the left knee in towards the chest. Good. And then inhale, raise the left arm, lower the left foot. And exhale, lower the left arm, bring the right knee in towards the chest. Move a little bit slower because this is stuff that's going to retrain some neural pathways. Inhale to raise the right arm, lower the right foot to the floor. And exhale, lower the right arm, bring the left knee in. Good. Inhale, raises the left arm, lowers the left foot. Exhale, lowers the left arm, brings the right knee in. Good. Pause here. Inhale, just lower the right foot. Keep the arms where they are. Take a moment to notice how it feels like your feet are placed, if they're even with each other. If they don't feel even with each other, correct it. And then the next time that you inhale, raise both arms forward, up, and overhead simultaneously. So you do want them to move. You can watch them move. And then on the exhale, lower the arms, drop both knees in towards the chest. And I want you to think about squeezing a block between the thighs. So typically most people have a leg that dominates when it lands on the mat and when it picks up off of the mat. So when we inhale, we raise the arms and we lower the feet to the floor, back to the starting position. I want you to pay attention to both feet landing at the same time without having the legs touching. Doing that when you're ready. And on the exhale, same thing. Legs do not touch, neither do the feet. The feet pick up simultaneously as the arms lower back down alongside the body. And you'll just continue these repetitions. Have space between the legs because they will be reliant on each other. Think about, on the exhale, strongly pulling the belly button towards the spine, flattening the low back to the ground. Next one will be your last one, or if you're on one now, this will be your last one. And once you have the knees back in towards the chest, you'll bring the hands to the feet and open into happy baby. And you can move in happy baby, rocking from side to side. You can hold still, really making sure that you meet your body's own needs, your own desires. Pay attention to both how the inner thighs feel, the hamstrings, and up along the spine. And then let's slowly release. Hug the knees in, roll onto your right or left side. Press up to seated, and then you're going to transition to lie in your bellies. We'll have the hands alongside the rib cage in preparation for cobra, so the elbows will point up and back. And let's bring the right side of the face to the ground. Now bring the legs all the way together so the big toes will touch, and you're going to squeeze the legs towards each other as well as press the feet into the floor. And then the next time that you inhale, you'll curl back into cobra, bringing the head to center as you pinch the blades onto the back and open the chest up. Strong in the lower body. And then on the exhale, engage the belly, lower the left side of the face to the floor as you lower down. Good, let's do one more like that. Inhale, squeeze the shoulders back, open up the front of the chest, be engaged throughout the whole body. Exhale, right side of the face towards the ground. Good. Now let's take the legs to hip bone width distance apart. Good, and inhale, curl back, cobra. Exhale, left side of the face to the floor. Good, again, inhale, curl back, cobra. Exhale, right side of the face to the floor. And now you're going to bring the legs mat width distance apart. Inhale, curl back for cobra. And exhale to lower down. Good, one more time. Now let's bring the legs either back to hip bone width distance or all the way together. And you're going to choose which one you feel like will stabilize you the best. And we're going to do an inhale to curl back into cobra. And this is where we're going to hold for a few breaths. And I want you to be strong in the lower body because we're trying to stabilize up the legs into the pelvis and up into the sacrum. The head will be to center, curling the shoulder blades on the back, holding up in cobra. Staying here for a few breaths. Really staying here until your body's ready to come down. And when you come down, you'll just bring the left side of the face to the floor. Once you're down, you'll release the arms down alongside the body. Let the elbows be bent and externally rotated so that the head of the shoulder bone drops towards the floor. As you breathe, feel it in the back side of the body between the shoulder blades and then all the way into the low back. Heavy exhales. Now let's bring the left arm to reach towards the left side of the room. The wrist and the shoulder will be at the same height, and we're going to have palm facing down. Spread the fingers really wide and walk them further over towards the left side of the room to open that shoulder blade. Sorry, to open the front side of the shoulder. Now bring the right hand underneath the right shoulder. And on an inhale, gently roll over onto the left side, keeping the head relaxed. We keep the head relaxed so that the stretch can move into the chest. And you can keep the legs so that they're stacked, or you can bend the right knee and place the foot out behind you. Or if you're feeling extra tight, you can always draw one knee in towards the chest and use that to prop you in this position. And that's a great way to do a restorative variation. Emphasizing the inhale in this pose will help you open into the upper left-hand corner of the chest. And having a little bit of awareness in the head. So you don't want to just drop the chin towards the chest. You actually want to think about pushing the chin forward and lifting it up gently as the head stays on the ground. And the next time that you exhale, go ahead and roll back onto the belly. Bring the right side of the face to the mat. Bring both arms down alongside the body for a moment. Notice how both sides feel. And then let's extend the right arm towards the right side of the room. Spreading the fingers wide. Really reach towards the right side of the room. Place the left hand underneath the left shoulder. And on an inhale, keep the head relaxed as you roll onto the right side. Be active through that right arm. Take the variation in the legs that suits you best. The sides can differ, so you don't have to do the same thing on this side that you did on the other side. Nice deep inhales. And then the next time that you exhale, you'll slowly roll back over onto the belly. Bring the arms down alongside the body, either side of the face to the ground, whichever is most comfortable for you. And then let's bend the knees and just gently windshield wiper the legs from side to side. And it can be more explorative movement than that if there's anything else that you want to do. Go ahead and do that. Just looking to relax through the pelvis and the low back and the belly and get a different type of mobilization to those areas. Let's release the legs back down to the floor. Place the hands underneath the rib cage and press back for child's pose. We'll have the knees wide for this child's pose, big toes touching, hips back towards the heels. Feel the chest and the belly drop between the thighs and bend the elbows to bring the palms to prayer position at the back of the head, fingers pointing up towards the ceiling. And now think about the chest and the solar plexus dropping down even more towards the mat. To get that, you can extend further through the spine by bringing the elbows further forward. Think about getting length and then consciously releasing that area, mid-back solar plexus area. We're going to treat this a little bit more as a restorative variation. So staying here for a few breaths, a few minutes. Having the shoulder blades really feel their place on your back. Slowly releasing the arms now. And let's walk the arms and the torso over towards the left side of the room, emphasizing an opening on the right side of the torso. So you can go as far as to cross the torso over the leg. Thinking about pushing that right sit bone back down towards the heel. And then let's inhale and walk over to the right. Just notice how it feels from side to side. And on the inhale, come back to center. Take your time and slowly come up to tabletop. Again, taking any sort of moves that your body's asking for. So you can do cat-cow, you can do some barrel rolls with the chest. Just introspectively moving, noticing what movements your body likes, what movements it avoids. And even sometimes just looking to find comfort or contentment in being still and noticing what your body's saying to you when you're not moving.
You could never film me.
And then we'll come to down dog. I'm okay with that.
I make too many faces. I just thought about that when I made a face.
So really think about extending through the spine here and have some softness to the elbows. The feet are hip bone width distance apart. Look forward towards the hands and think about extending the collarbones that direction. Those were good. Now step the right foot to the outer edge of the right hand and release the left knee down to the ground. So we're coming in for lizard. And you're just going to think about the hips moving forward and down. If you need to fold over the edge of the mat so that you have a little more padding on that back knee, do so. You can keep the foot pointing straight forward. You can also angle it out a little bit. Joni, your foot's too far forward. Christina, so is yours a bit.
Really?
Yep. You want the knee about above the ankle, not behind it.
So is that better?
Yep.
Okay.
Bend further into your knee. Good. And we're not going to lose full containment here, so we're not just going to let everything drop. I want you to squeeze a little bit back through the groin, so like you're pulling the right leg back and pushing the left hip forward. Good. And then start to emphasize the breathing. So the breathing is going to be the balance into the equation. And we're not going, this is an again practice, and we're not going into the connective tissue. So I don't want you focusing on full range of motion, because without more props and more warming up, that could start to actually aggravate the hip flexors. As important as flexibility is, containment and strength are equally important. Let's tuck the back toes and lift the back knee. Strongly press out through that left heel, but stay low in that front leg. And then step back, downward dog. Look forward once again. And step the left foot to the outer edge of the left hand. Good. Once you're there, release the back knee down. Let the hips sink forward and down and find the perfect distance between the legs. And then once you have that perfect distance and the hips sinking forward and down, come back to the containment. So squeeze the legs back towards each other, and it'll take you slightly out of the lunge. Soften the elbow joints. Try not to drop the chin towards the chest either. So you extend out through the roof of the mouth, the crown of the head. The back toes are not tucked, tuck them, and then lift the back knee up off of the ground, press out through the heel. And step back, downward dog. Good, let's release the knees to the mat. Keep the head pointing the direction that it already is and just turn over to lie on your back. We'll give a moment for the muscles along the spine to settle. So rotating the palms up towards the ceiling. Keeping the eyes open, staring up at the ceiling, having the knees bent so that the low back can release. And then let's bring the right knee into the chest, but keep the arms where they are. And then you're going to take the arms a little bit higher so that they're at the same height as the shoulder. And on the exhale, let the legs drop. So you're not having them lifted off of the ground. They're in a T position, the arms are. Good, the right knee is still in towards the chest. And on the exhale, you're going to take the legs over to the left, keeping them in the position that they're in. Good, the head can turn and look to the right. And think about that right shoulder relaxing all the way down to the mat and that right foot relaxing to the inner edge of the left leg. Now, because we're in a twist, there can be a little bit of restriction that happens with our breathing. We're still going to kind of power through the restriction by slowing down our inhale and making sure that it reaches all corners of our torso. Now, when we come out of this position, it's going to be exactly the way that we came first. You're going to bring the head to center, though. Now, on an inhale, let the legs move back to center to where the right knee is in towards the chest and the left foot is flat to the floor. And then let's interlace the hands to the back of the right thigh. Extend the left leg down onto the ground. Be strong through that left leg, so pull the toes back towards the shin bone and press the heel away from you. Keep the heel connected to the back of the heel connected to the floor so that you're not hyperextending the knee. In the next inhale, you'll extend the right leg up towards the ceiling, pressing out through the heel, pulling back with the toes. And on the exhale, you'll relax that and bend the right knee back in towards the chest. The left leg stays as your anchor leg, and you're going to do a few more repetitions of this. Not a specific number of them, just getting movement through the right hip, knee, and ankle joint. So here's the thing. The most important part of this is when you inhale, you flex the foot first, and that begins the extension of the leg. When you exhale, relax your foot, and then bring the knee in towards the chest. And that'll change the dynamic of energy in the muscles all the way up and down the leg. Good. This extension you'll maintain. Think about staying relaxed through the chest, shoulder blades on the mat. Powerful left leg, relaxed upper body, and powerful right leg as well. You'll feel the energy in the lower half of the body. And then the next time that you exhale, simultaneously relax both legs and bend the right knee into the chest. Bend the left knee, place the foot flat to the floor. And then place the right foot down to the floor as well. Both knees are bent, feet are flat to the floor. Let's take the arms out in a T position, palms facing up. On an exhale, the left knee is going to come in towards the chest. And take an inhale here. And then on the exhale, let the legs move over to the right. The head turns left. You let that left leg relax to the inner edge of the right leg. And you're powerful with the breath. Go ahead and bring the head back to center. And on an inhale, bring the legs back to center. Left knee stays in towards the chest. Right foot is flat to the floor. Interlace the hands to the back of the left thigh. Now extend the right leg down onto the ground. Flex the toes. Feel that leg become powerful, remembering that the heel stays connected to the mat. Muscle hugs the bone. And then repetitions here on the inhale. Flex the left foot and then begin the extension up. And on the exhale, relax the left foot, draw the knee back in towards the chest. Try to make sure that the knee isn't crossing towards the midline of the body. Good adjustments. Continuing to move in this way, noticing the movement in the ankle, the knee, and the hip joint. this next extension, you'll stay in. Remember, chest and shoulders relaxed. Feeling a lot of energy in the lower body, but very little in the upper body. Now remember, when we exhale and we relax the left leg, we simultaneously relax the right leg. So both legs let go of engagement, and we bring the left knee back into the chest. And then let's extend the left leg down onto the ground. Place the hands to the belly, pause for a moment. Feel the curvatures of your body against the floor. If there's any movements or adjustments you need to make to be more comfortable, do that. And now let's hug the knees in towards the chest, flattening the back to the ground. Roll over onto either the right or left side. And then press up to a seated position, crossing the legs in front of you. Thinking about lifting up through the collarbones to set the shoulder blades on the back, but then letting the rib cage move back a little bit in space. From there, we'll take the left hand to the right thigh or the right knee, and then bring the right hand behind us. We're not going to begin to crank ourselves yet. We are going to take an inhale, fill the space in the chest, the waistline, the belly, feel the lift up of the collarbones. Now, powerfully on the exhale, draw the belly button in towards the spine and let that be what rotates you. Not pulling on the arms, not bending the elbows. In fact, I don't want you to bend the elbows at all. I want you to stay really powerful and steady with the breath creating this twist. Feeling how the inhale takes you slightly out of the twist and the exhale creates that range of motion in the spine. Now the head can turn and look over the back shoulder, or it can turn and look over the front shoulder. And on an inhale, slowly let everything come back to center. Switch the position of the legs, opposite leg in front. And then bring the right hand to the left thigh or knee, left hand behind you. Take an inhale here, remember to find the extension in the spine. And on the exhale, you find the depth of the twist so the elbows don't bend. You just feel that rotational movement in the back. And again, you can turn the head to look over the back shoulder or over the front shoulder. And then the inhale slowly moves you back to center. Pausing there, close the eyes, just take notice of how the body feels from the right to the left side. Then opening the eyes, and we're going to take the legs into a wide-legged position. So think about flexing back with the feet and having the toes point up towards the ceiling, and it's the same thing here. The heels stay firmly connected into the ground. So you're going to press them into the ground, and you'll feel the back of the leg engage. If you feel like there's some rounding happening in the low back, bend the knees a little bit so that you're not in a full-on extension, but you have some space between the back of the knee. And that's going to free you up to lift up more through the chest. And then from there, you can start to move forward into the forward fold. But we don't move forward by collapsing the chest. We're not rounding through the upper back. I want you to avoid that for right now, at least. Think about pressing the collarbones forward, and instead of depth, you're considering form. And if you want to go further forward and you're starting to lose form, then bend the knees more, and you'll be able to get further forward while keeping the extension of the back. And we're looking to have the spine flat. So if I were to place a yardstick along the spine, every part of the spine would touch the yardstick. And the next time that you exhale, go ahead and collapse forward into this, relaxing the legs completely. Taking maybe more of a restorative variation without props. And then slowly start to come up. Cross the legs in front of you and just rest the hands in the lap, sitting up straight. Eyes closed. Feel the heaviness of the torso settle down into the pelvis. Even let the abdomen relax here. Try not to hold it in or think that you need to hold it in. Just starting to pay more attention to the breathing. Noticing how the active breathing is quite natural. You don't have to put too much emphasis into it. And how soft the body can start to feel while you breathe. then slowly transition to lie on your back for your final resting pose. Letting it look however is comfortable for you. Just feeling the weight of the body press against the ground and feeling it get heavy. The back side presses into the floor and the front side softens with that press, with that support of the ground. Starting to deepen the breath. Feeling the intentional rise and fall of the belly and the chest. Beginning to mobilize the jaw and the head. arms, the hands, the legs and the feet. Bringing the knees in towards the chest. In whatever way suits you, coming up to a seated position. Just sitting up straight, eyes closed, hands rested in the lap. Checking in both physically and mentally. Taking notice of how your practice has affected you.